Welcome back to Juice Bros Pickleball. I'm Davin, and this is where my doubles partner Adrian and I talk about our pickleball journey, tournaments, rec games, drills, and lessons we're learning along the way. So in our last episode, we talked about why players should try tournaments, the usual tournament formats, knowing the rules, and some common first tournament mistakes. Today, we're continuing the conversation and talking about what's actually like when the tournament begins. Adrian, if someone didn't watch the first episode, what's the biggest takeaway from that conversation?
Yeah, I would say the biggest takeaway for me would be try and have fun. Remember, try and have a good mindset going in, like to have some fun, have a good experience, and you've put in the work and now it's time to show it. So just have some fun and, have a good experience, meet some people.
Yeah, and I think we kind of cover like knowing the format when you said knowing the rules first, so that it gets those variables out. Avoid some common mistakes like not warming up properly. Make sure put in some time, hit some balls around, and then play some games, play some points if it's possible. That's really good to warm up those muscles. Yeah. And for the part two, we're going to cover more of like when you get to that round one of that tournament. Nerves are high. Everybody's nervous. Both teams, you and your partner. Maybe it's your first time partnering or just a dedicated partner, but still that first round of the tournaments, usually that's when it tests the nerves. It tests your skills a lot, mental game. So what does the first match of the day usually feel like for you, Adrian?
Yeah, so I guess it depends on when your start time is. So if your start time is kind of earlier, sometimes you're really making sure you got warmed up, and then a lot of people sometimes think, hey, it's just my warm-up game, but it still matters, obviously. You want to do well. So usually it's trying to get a feel for how you're doing that day. So hopefully you figured it out by the time you formed up. I heard a tip from one of people we play with that if you're nervous, just drive the ball and hit out the nerves. But yeah, so usually the first match of the day is pretty nerve-wracking. It's trying to just get a feel for the rhythm of things, get into the flow of it. How about you?
Yeah, and you're right. When you play rec, the first game kind of, it's a warm-up game. You're not doing that well, but it's okay, it's a warm-up game. But when you're in a tournament, round one, there's no warm-up games. You lose that one, you really have a 0-1 record going in. Right?
Yeah.
So I feel like there is no warm-up, and you really have to figure out your opponent's like either weakness or what you have to do in that moment, or else it's just gonna go downhill really fast. And again, that point about when you're nervous, just drive with all. Absolutely. You're not going to make a third shot drop when your nerves are high because, as we all know, a drop shot is tougher in that sense when you're nervous because, you need to be more relaxed and all that going into that shot. But when the nerves kick in, you're not going to make that drop. So I would suggest kind of like just drive the ball, right? And also it allows you to test your opponent. If that drive is really nice and low towards the net, it can kind of test their blocks, their counters. And for you, it's information, it's intel for you to see, okay, you know what, if it works on one, try another one. Until it doesn't.
Yeah, I would say hit those drives at 60%, feel it out. Don't just blast it or else you're giving up 3 points if they leave it. And yeah, usually first match of the day, I agree with you, it definitely sets the tone for the rest of the day and the rest of the tourney. If you lose round one, you're kind of on an uphill battle, but it's also not life or death because it's just the first game. You have some other games left, so we'll get into that in a bit.
Yeah, we usually go in playing our first rounds kind of loose, relaxed. Like we do play a lot of tournaments together, but it's still nerves. We go in kind of relaxed, kind of do our own thing, sort of, in a sense.
Yeah.
Just play like how we play.
Play our game.
Yeah, play our game. We try to think of like the foundation first. Get those balls over the net, right? As we say now, right? Get it over the net because it's always going to come back. So we're just going to get it over and then play it out, extend the point, make them hit. Because that's also for us to adjust. When we hit more balls, then our muscles feel like, okay, it's getting there, it's getting back. The nerves we're hitting the nerves out. So just play like how we used to play. Try not to think too much. Try not to be fancy on your shots. If you tend to play rec and you're hitting all those angles, at round one tournament, you're probably not going to hit those angles because you might hit it out. Or sometimes, like if you're into the game itself, other opponents might, sometimes call it out when it's very close to the sideline, and it might affect you too much, right? So I play it safe, like get more in the middle, play within the box a little bit first. Then when you kind of become less nervous, then go for those nice angle shots, because then you'll be warmed up and be able to hit better shots.
Yeah, I would say you're basically trying to start to build your confidence from the first point. So first point, we like to say kind of just make the ball. If it's high, it's high. If they hit, if you get it high and they smash it, sure, that's fine. At least you're making them hit the smash. You're not beating yourself by hitting it into the net. So, and then as you're making more and more balls, your confidence is going up, and then you can just build off of that.
Yeah. I remember the last tournament we had, the Legends tournament. I remember first round, I couldn't make a third. Like, I couldn't. Like, for some reason. So what I did was really like, okay, you know what, I'll adjust. So I just kind of play it safe, play it more higher margin. You know, if it's loopier, it's loopier. That's fine, because then we both know, okay, well, we're just gonna make our way to the kitchen slower. We're not gonna rush it, and it, you know, got us really far, and it did really well. And then I made my thirds better, and then it's getting better and better. So it's just really nerves. Like, I thought I could make that drop. Nope, it just didn't work. So
like, I remember even when that was happening, you were telling me I'll adjust, and it also takes some understanding from your partner to be like, hey, I know we're both just trying to hit out the nerves. Hey, just make the ball. Like, I remember telling Dav, I was like, just, hey, even when his thirds were high, I was like, that's good. It's over the net. That's fine. That's what we want for now. Just keeping it simple. Get it over. If they're hitting it, they're hitting it. That's fine. But we're not beating ourselves.
Yeah, and I think the mental state really to be there is just be relaxed, right? Don't stress out. If you're not making shots, doesn't matter. Just don't feel frustrated. Don't get tilted. You and your partner is in this together. If it's your first time playing with your partner, like, kind of talk it out. Hey, it might happen like this. Like, you know, I'll adjust like that. Kind of lay out the plan. Maybe it might be better, because once one person gets a little stressed and then the whole vibe's kind of iffy, then the whole match is gonna feel awkward and bad. It's just gonna go downhill.
Yeah, like, recognize you're both going to be nervous, so you're working together. And I would say one thing that helps is have like 1 or 2, maybe 3, like, just key points going into the match. Like, sometimes we'll be like, hey, we're just going to dink and counter, so that we don't try and do too much fancy stuff. We try not to attack some crazy balls that are too low. We'll just be like, okay, dink and counter, which means let's just get up to the net, play solid. And those are kind of like a couple key points, because in the moment, your brain's probably racing. Sometimes there's too many thoughts, and sometimes you don't know what's going on, so you're just panicking. So I personally like to just be like, all right, let's just 1 or 2 points, hammer those home. Like, let's get up to the net and play it from there.
Yeah, I think once you get that rhythm back, you and your partner, like, that's how you really play, and then go for it. Set up each other's strengths, and then go for it right after you get those kind of nerves out. So of course, winning a match sounds great. I guess, does winning or losing the first match affect the mindset for the rest of the day of the tournament?
Oh, yeah. So at the beginning, when I was newer to tournaments, it definitely did, because every match feels like almost the end of the world. You're like, oh my god, we lost our match. We're never gonna make it. Like, what are we doing? Like, I remember even before I started playing with you, I was playing with my cousin, and sometimes it'd be like, oh my god, I feel so bad. Like, I'm sorry, I lost us that game, this and that. Like, it can affect your mindset and your confidence, your partner's confidence, even a little bit. I think it's important to kind of just stay level-headed, be more objective. Like, yes, we lost, but that's 1 game out of at least 3 games, so we can still go 2-1. There's still tiebreakers that could potentially happen, so just to keep the energy up, especially if you lose. I would say find some silver linings. That's very important for me. It's like, hey, we did this well. I really liked the counter you hit on that shot. I really liked your poach. I really liked how we got up to the net, our resets. Like, just staying in it with your partner mentally, and not just kind of being on an island, because that's the worst thing that could happen, is just you and your partner feel like 2 separate people just happen to be on the court together. That sucks. Just remember, hey, you're a team. There's still more matches to go, and how about you?
And exactly, like, if one person does feel really bad after losing, give them some time just to refresh, but then be there also after that. Lift them back up. It's okay. We'll get the next one, because a tournament, usually minimum there's 3 rounds. If you lose the first one, don't matter. Just keep on going. Next one. If so happens, lose the second one. Doesn't matter. Then have fun. If we go like 0-2, oh well, the last one doesn't count, but do play it. Like, I feel like, yeah, exactly. For pride. Like, and also I feel like you shouldn't treat the third round like I'm not gonna try. I think you should try, because even though it doesn't matter in the record, but it still kind of preps you. You're still in the tournament, prepping that mindset. Like, you lost 2 games, but now how do you win that third one, right? Like, how do you really reset and then, okay, it doesn't matter anymore because there's nothing to lose now, so just play how you play. And then I think take the learnings from that and go when the next tournament comes.
I think it builds character. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, you have nothing to gain because you're out of the playoffs, you're 0-2. What do? It's like, do you want to fight and battle with your partner and have some pride in how, like, your attitude, because you can't control winning or losing, but you can control your effort, you can control your attitude, you can control your body language, you can show your partner, you can be like, hey, we're still having a good time, as we mentioned in the first part, where you can, even if you go 0-3, but if you have a good experience and have a good time, it's still enjoyable.
Yeah, it makes it a whole better.
Continue the good vibes.
It makes it a whole lot better. Like the last tournament, so I was playing mix. We lost 0-2, and then going to the third round. Okay, nothing to lose. But then that's when me and my partner adjusted. We were both nervous going in, and then somehow a little, adjustment, and then your advice to her, it changes the whole dynamic, and we were like getting shots in, and we locked in and won our third round. Even it didn't matter.
Down.
Yeah, we were down, and we kind of locked in. Hey, let's play our game, like how we play, and we won the third round. And it doesn't matter because we're not advancing. But now from that game, we learned so much that, oh, this is how we should play as partners, and as, or how we should adjust to each other, how we play. And then now this learning is very important, because we're going to take it to our next tournament going in, so that it will be better based on this learning.
I'm gonna be honest, that's the only game that I remember of your.
Same.
Because I was like, wow, you guys played so well that game. And I was like, just so proud of your attitude. Even when you guys were losing, it was like, hey, you still picked each other up. You were still positive, and then it worked out.
It sets up like, oh, future, like, okay, we can actually do this. So why not we keep on trying and then enter a next one, rather than not going to play with you ever again, but be a kind of a positive. If the match went well and it's decent, then why not work on it? Because having a dedicated partner when you're going higher levels is actually very important. I feel like in the beginning, you can test partners, but once you want to try for higher levels, you really need that dedicated partner, right? To have that strategy. So it's very important.
I would say chemistry is so underrated, because everything's great when you're winning, but when you're losing, having a good partner and good chemistry that's where the partnership really shines.
Yeah,
I would say.
Exactly. So tournaments are long, and how do we keep our energy during the tournament? It can last for hours, a tournament. I remember there's ones like, it's a whole day commitment, like 8 a.m. or 10 a.m. we start, and then it goes until like 7 p.m. like that. Like fatigue, like what do you eat usually? I know I get hungry really fast.
I get hungry. Yeah. So I bring a lot of energy drinks, like not energy drinks, but like Powerades, Gatorades. Yeah, Powerade.
The not so healthy kind
They're not
of
healthy, but
electrolytes.
your boy needs sugar sometimes.
It's true.
Your boy needs his sugar spikes.
Yeah.
But yeah, because you can't control how long you have to wait between matches. So, and they can vary. Sometimes you'll have back-to-back matches. Sometimes you'll wait an hour or even 2 hours between matches. So I would say bring a lot of drinks, stay hydrated. Food-wise, sometimes you can eat in the middle of the tournament. If there's like certain facilities, maybe there's like a farmer's market next door, you could go and grab some food. Nothing too heavy usually. I would say something that's kind of snackable. Maybe like a sandwich, but nothing too heavy like a pasta or anything. That
Don't
might
carb
make
load.
Don't carb load. I love carb loading as much as the next person, but I don't think you want to see me just sleeping in the next match.
Save it for after.
Exactly.
I would say save it for after.
We talked about the post-game meal. That's when you carb load.
For me, pre-game meal, depending on the time of the tournament, early in the morning, I think just keep it light. For me, I usually don't eat breakfast, so if it's going to a tournament, I should eat. So kind of granola bar, like really light, just to keep that energy, keep that stomach full, because you're warming up, you're going to use that energy, and then you're going to go right into round one, so you need that energy. I do get hungry a lot, and I always tell you, I'm like, oh my god, I cannot play when I'm hungry. So I need like, okay, maybe a granola bar. Bananas are really important. Bananas are really good because just one banana can help you energize and then keep you energized and playing. Bananas, granola bars, electrolytes really help. I don't drink sometimes. I used to drink Gatorade, Powerade and stuff. I kind of switched to the powder ones, which is easier. Don't let yourself go hungry too long because the last thing you want to kind of think about is your stomach telling you, hey, I need food during a critical point. Yeah, and then just not performing.
Yeah, I guess it also depends on tournaments. So some tournaments they'll provide granola bars, fruits, snacks. Some that I've been to have even provided like whole sandwiches, subs.
Oh yeah.
I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
But
and
just
again,
be careful, not too much. Don't overindulge.
Don't indulge a sandwich if little bites here and there, maybe a quarter at a time, like that. For post, like, you know, we usually go for great food. And that's when we can just relax. And then if we come out winning gold,
it's a celebration meal.
It's a celebration meal. If we lose, we don't get anything. It's consolation
meal.
Right? So, but no matter what, that post meal will be great. Save the heavy stuff after a tournament. A lot of players underestimate how tiring tournaments can be. It just drains you. I know that our last tournament, we were so tired that no, we're just gonna eat somewhere small, like with a small group, because you know it's been a lot of people, a lot of crowds. Yeah, it gets tiring.
Yeah, I mean, some people like to bring massage guns because sometimes their muscles get tired, they cramp.
Yes. And that's a good tip for warming up between, right? Like if you don't have a court to just go in, just use the massage gun, warm up those muscles, stretch a little bit. That's actually better than just sitting around doing nothing.
If you don't, just grab a friend, punch your legs or something. Just go at it if you don't have a massage gun.
We shared about like the round one during the round robins, that's fine. But I think the actual pressure is when you make it to playoffs. The semi-final, final intensity with everyone watching. Adrian, do you approach playoff matches differently than round robins?
100%. They're so different to me. So I think going in, my mindset is I want to get my maximum value out of this tournament by playing as many games as I can. And it just so happens that if you play more games, that usually means you're doing pretty well. So it's a side effect of tricking my brain into not thinking about the pressure so much. More so just be like, let's get some value. I'm paying to play.
And that's true. Tournaments nowadays are getting more expensive. And, you know, the minimum you get is only 3 games if you don't make it through. Like you're paying what? Like registration fee is like around $70 to $80 and each event is like $15 to $20. It's up to like $100 something per tournament. And that's like Canadian tournaments. I'm not talking about even US or other parts of the world, but so you're paying $100 something to play 3 rounds and maybe make it. So of course we want value, so we want to try as hard as possible, but at the end of the day, if we don't, that sucks.
It sucks.
You just play 2 games.
So trying to get some value. And once we get to the playoffs, that means you're getting some value.
At least
get some
earn
extra
that,
games.
you know, either a quarterfinal or a final, right? You're earning 1 bonus game towards that. That's great.
Yeah,
it's
I just like to think of that's a great way to think about it. As like, hey, we made the bonus games.
That's when the pressure really starts, even more than the nerves, right? Because
for sure.
Because you're very close now to actually making it to come out being number 1. So I get extra nervous, especially I think if there's a quarterfinals, it's even more pressured than the semi, because semi, like, okay, if you do lose, you try for bronze. Quarters, it's like you made it into playoffs, but if you lose that quarter, you're out if you lose quarters. So I feel even pressure. So how would you deal with it? Like, let's say, okay, let's skip quarters, finals for now, but semis, okay? Because semis is closer to earning that finals.
Yeah.
How would you do?
So semis to me is probably not really the most important per se, but to me it's also the most important because it's the difference between guaranteeing a medal, albeit silver or gold, versus having to play for bronze, which you either get bronze or you get nothing. So to me, semifinals is kind of the make or break, where if you play well and you get into the finals, that's great. But semifinals is also where you're playing someone from another pool, so you haven't been able to scout them as much.
Yeah, I think that's important.
Yeah, so sometimes you're playing like the number 1 seed of the other pool, so they're a really strong team as well. So that's usually where a lot of close matches happen, especially for us. I haven't really experienced many semifinals where we just run through another team. Usually our semifinal matches are one of the closer matches in the whole tournament.
Yeah, I think our last 2 tournaments, our semis was crazy close.
We have a kind of funny story. There's something kind of we say to each other
We do.
Jeez.
So we kind of tell each other, okay, so we're in it. We're gonna go for the gravy. Okay, go for the gravy. So you put, because usually you win your semis, no matter what, you're gonna get a medal, right?
Yep.
Going to the finals, either gold or silver.
So it's bonus.
Yeah, so bonus. So when we win the semis, we usually, okay, job's not done, but we're gonna aim for golden gravy.
The golden gravy.
The golden gravy. So it kind of pushes us, like it sets the fun tone. Sort of why we say gravy is because sort of like putting the fun into it, right? And it just helps alleviate. Okay, no, yeah, we do want the golden gravy, but if we do kind of come out second and stuff, it's not as,
It's okay.
It's okay. We still have gravy. We still got gravy.
Everything's bonus. It's the gravy train.
Yeah, it's the gravy train.
It's just the topping.
Right.
You have your dessert, which is making the playoffs, and then depending where you come out, that's where the topping, you get some gravy on
cherry
there.
on top, gravy, whatever, right?
Yeah, whatever analogies you want to use that help you, but we like our gravy analogy.
Yeah. And I think that's how we approach like kind of tournaments too. We're never really serious. Like even when we're serious, we're gonna play it off each other. Like, or sometimes if it does affect us mentally, we kind of like, okay, you know what, just doesn't matter, and then we kind of play off jokes or just make the whole event kind of fun in that sense, in that moment. Lighten the mood a bit. So that it helps us a little bit.
Yeah. So I guess usually semifinals, once we're going for that gravy, because semifinals is determining what kind of gravy we're getting.
Yeah.
Like, semifinals is usually very tough matches.
Oh, yeah.
But, so usually the same strategies goes, and I think it's very important in semis to keep playing your game, because it's very easy to get caught up in the moment, being like, I have the chance to go play the gold medal match, or the chance to even have the nerves, like, oh my gosh, if I don't win, I only fight for bronze, like, quote unquote, only fight for bronze.
Mm-hmm.
But there's different ways to frame those games. Like, like, how do you like to think about it?
Yeah, I think semis, it's also the part where just play the foundation first, because you're figuring out, play what's comfortable, don't do fancy things, figure it out, and then go for it. I think treat the semifinals as going into round one, unless you already know the team, but we've had some experience where the same team from the round robins, we play again in the semis. Let's say, for example, in our round robin, we won, but in the semis, we lost to them. Because again, don't go underestimate the other team, especially if you've beaten them, because they might change strategy now, right? Because they know that, they know that they lost to you, so they're going to change. Okay, because I was very passive, I'm going to be more aggressive now. So they might change. So just be careful. So that's why advice would be like, okay, just play the foundation, get up there, make the balls. Then if it's pretty much the same, then do what you did. But if they start changing, at least then you have time. What did they change from the last game? So that split second decision.
Call your timeouts. Be like, hey, they're doing
call your timeouts.
different.
Yes, call your timeouts. We didn't cover that. Call your timeouts at crucial moments. Don't let points rack up too long before calling a timeout.
You pay for a tournament, you also pay for your timeouts. Might as well use them.
Yeah, just use it. Don't, because especially if they're on a hot streak, you want to extinguish it a little bit, because it does help a lot.
Good things happen.
Yeah, our last tournament, like, we called it offensive timeout, which is like when we were kind of like stuck, and then when we got the side out back, when we got the ball back, we called a timeout. And then it kind of like helped us focus, because we were stuck on that point for a long time. So we called an offensive timeout just to like, okay, let's calm our nerves. All right, let's get back what we're doing the best.
Like, figure out our game plan.
How
are we gonna attack this? How are we gonna not give the ball back?
Yeah.
Because a lot of teams, they usually call timeouts defensively when the other team is
when they're
on
down.
A long run.
Yeah.
But sometimes an offensive timeout is good too.
It works.
Where it's like, hey, you finally got the ball back. You're like, all right, now timeout. What are we gonna do offensively? How can we finish this out?
Yeah. Okay, so that's it for this episode of our Juice Bros Pickleball. So again, if you've enjoyed this conversation, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. And let us know in the comments, like, what do you want to hear? Maybe give us some comments on what you want to hear our next episode, want to cover. We can do that. And also, what's been your experience playing in pickleball tournaments? And we'll see you in the next episode.
Yeah.